Hello and welcome everybody to another special video. There's going to be a bit of a painting video in the background that I was experimenting with. Let me know what you think. Now, the topic of this is going to be really simple. The DLC-ification of physical products, or models in this regard. Games Workshop has really started treating models not with a degree of, well, you have the surety that you're spending these ridiculous prices, but look at how long you're going to get use out of them, to turning it into more and more of a, well, we're going to refresh this model or just chuck it out the door and say, oh, well, there's a Legends thing. You can see this from Age of Sigmar, Middle-earth battle game, Warhammer 40k, Horus Heresy, Age of Darkness. We're entering the Age of Darkness, all right? And on and on and on, where there's so many of these models that have just been thrown aside, cast out, thrown into the fires of destruction, but more importantly, basically pushed aside because the company doesn't want to sell enough of them, like them, or want to support them, to the point where there are people who've spent ridiculous amounts of money, invested in it, expecting that these models will be around for a very long time because it's Warhammer, and found themselves in possession of physical DLC. Now, I call it that because the company treats owning their models in a way that I can only refer to something like Bethesda treats DLC anymore. Subpar, rambling, full of itself, and overpriced. But you're paying ridiculous amounts of money for pieces of plastic so that you can maybe get a year out of it. No, that's not true in every case. There's some models that have been around for ages. A model refresh is not the same thing as a model getting chucked into the trash. And we see this more and more and more. And I suspect that once 11th edition comes, the whole Firstborn line is going to be wiped away. So if you're an old fan, or you have an old collection, or you inherited one from your dad or an uncle or a friend, that that investment's a giant waste now. Screw you personally, because you're an old fan and they're going to treat you like crap. So the new fans can buy the new stuff, and then when they become old fans, can then get treated like shit. And once their primaries get replaced with Thunder Warriors or whatever new thing happens to come around. And I think this really does destroy one of the biggest elements that has maintained Warhammer despite the company's the way they've acted over the years, and that is trust. They are systematically destroying the trust people had, and you see it more and more as time goes on. People feel less confident in their models. People feel less confident in the rules. People feel like they're getting more and more pushed on them or certain factions, while other factions are getting drained of all their flavor, all of what gave them their soul, while they over bloat, like, well, the Primaris, for example, or the Stormcast, or whatever the face of that particular game is. And you can see it more and more as people just start to act like, I don't trust this, and they feel more and more pushed towards buying 3D printed models, just not caring about the new release, especially when you see how some of these releases seem to lack any degree of craftsmanship or pride in them. And it's just absolutely ridiculous, and I needed to get that out of my system, and I wanted to see how this did. It's not very good because my cats decided that they're going to body the recording setup, so this is what I was able to salvage out of it. Let me know what you think. If you like me doing these style of videos, if you'd like to see some more painting in the background, or me taking on certain things like involving crafts, or so on and so on. But if you made it this far in the video, I'd like to personally thank you for putting up with me in that regard. And just let me know in the bottom if you've watched all the way to the end, and if you have personal thoughts and the broken trust in the game. Say pandas are for swords. And you have a wonderful day. Bye bye.